You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building.
And they probably fucked your mama.
Older sister or something.
Oh, definitely aunts. Mamas and aunts.
We're not that old.
112.
What's up? What up?
What's up, guys?
Hey, y'all haven't released music together in 12 years?
Yeah.
Why?
What was the problem?
Slim. Thinking he all that.
See, everybody say that Slim. I think I answered that a long time ago.
Nah, nobody's a problem, man. We just we've been out for 21 years, and when you grow up, you grow out a little bit, and we had to give each other time to really explore the individualism. So we did that, and it just took 12 years, man. So the fans, they spoke. The good thing about 112 is we never stopped touring. Even though we hadn't put out any records commercially, we always have had a great relationship with our fans. So we always been able to get together, go get a check, go get some money. And then the fans spoke, and we just came together and said, you know what, guys, let's do it.
Y'all been out 21 years. Lord have mercy on me.
96.
Why now?
96.
Why now of all things? Why new music now?
Okay, man. You know what I'm saying? We got together. Learn to embrace it.
So, we was gone for a minute. We took the little hiatus and we got back together. We started touring. And, our relationship became better and better from just being on the road and kicking it and, warming up our voices, singing a cappella, stuff like that. And then just, hearing from the fans so much and kind of just getting that musical itch again as a group, as we was on the road, just singing the classic songs. And, you start to get that itch and say, hey, man, let's hit the studio. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it was some hesitation initially, because like with today's music and, we didn't want to have this antiquated, frame of mind. Like, like we got to do it the way we did it back in the 90s and whatnot, man. So that was kind of in the back of our minds as well. Do we want to, do what they're doing nowadays and stuff, or we want to remain true to who we are. So, that was kind of like what
Dangerous Game sounds good. It sounds like some classic 112 music.
Okay,
and I do feel like that 90s sound is kind of like resurging today.
Yeah.
Well, I think the 90s sound never really went anywhere because people, it's just one of those sounds where people they missed it.
Classic.
They missed
Classic,
it.
yeah.
And people, the fans spoke, even that meme that you see going around. If it ain't like 90s love, I don't want it. If it ain't like 90s, so people miss the sound, and it's not a dated situation. So you can kind of come out and just be yourself. Even with the new Ty Dolla song, he sampled Only You.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah.
That's love. Y'all ain't getting that money. That's all Diddy money.
Boy, stop. Don't play yourself.
No. We get pieces of that, too.
Okay.
Don't play yourself, cousin. Don't do that.
Why did Diddy have the what's the word I'm looking for?
We don't know.
The reputation
Yeah.
of jerking artists back in the day.
I don't know, man. I be asking myself the same question because, as far as our situation was, we kind of had a situation where we would sign up on a production deal similar to the TLC situation, but it really didn't have anything to do with our deal with Puffy.
Yeah.
So I used to wonder all the time, because he's creating these big platforms for artists, all our videos was like 750 and up, and we always had, commercial success. We always had the marketing and promotion behind it. So I really didn't understand it myself.
I mean, it's a standard. We signed a standard record contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that everybody signs, everybody gets got.
Everybody.
Artists, future artists,
that's a
you
part
will
of the
get
game.
got. You know what I mean?
Another part about
the
the Puffy thing is you would run into other artists like our fellow, artists that's in the game, and they'll be like, oh man, we wish we had a Bad Boy, or y'all had Bad Boy, man. So I don't know. It's just kind of like I never got that.
When you think about it, there was only one artist who complained about Diddy. Now that I really think about it,
Who?
That was Mace. I never heard anybody else really.
The Lox?
Oh, the Lox. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it didn't get to chair throwing, mode with us, but because let's not paint the picture like we didn't have, our problems with Puff and stuff, man. But we family, you know what I mean? It's like I was the one I always went back and forth with him. Q was his favorite. You know what I'm saying? And
Why was Q his favorite?
I don't know, bro. It was just Q was always his favorite. Q was always his favorite.
Who just
That
always
don't sound
clean,
right,
man.
Q. I'm gonna be honest. Don't let him do that.
His favorite. These two was his favorite. You know what I mean? And I used to always go back and forth with it. I'm the smallest, I'm the shortest out of all of them, but I was the one that stood out in front of them. I was always the one that, was like, nah, Puff, we ain't doing it like that, bro. You're not just
How involved was Puff in the project? Was he really
very
hands-on?
Yeah.
He was the reason why we went hip-hop and R&B. Because when we first came in, it was like, we just want to sing R&B. Because I don't know if y'all remember, in 94, we were at Darp Studios in Atlanta, and Bad Boy had this big ass poster where it was like a baby. He was doing like this. He had a shirt off, with, and it was like strictly hip hop music. We was like, yo, we finna get signed to this dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I hated it. We didn't like it. Because we wanted to just sing. You know what I mean? But when we got up with Puff, he was like, yo, that ain't gonna cut it, Playboy. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna.
And it was the greatest. It was the greatest thing.
But it was the smartest. It was the smartest move, man.
Yeah.
To like make Slim the lead singer and the whole nine that identifying voice. You know what I mean? It was just brilliant. Like we bucked on it at first, but then after we went platinum, I think that's when we was like, yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Good idea, bro. Right.
Who came first, y'all or Total? I don't remember.
No, Total came first.
Right?
Yeah,
Total.
came out first. Yeah.
Yep.
How did y'all get discovered by Diddy back then?
Diddy was doing a whole lot of partying in Atlanta, you know, at that time, and you know, it was around that whole DARP camp with Dallas Austin, and you know, our manager at the time, like he was like the who's who of, you know, in the A and stuff, man. So he knew Puff. He was like, yo, I got these guys, man. You got to listen to them, and Puff just, you know, he heard it and was like, yeah, it's dope, but why they keep practicing like that? Like what, you know, why are they still?
Yeah, he didn't get it.
He didn't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took Faith and Usher to basically stamp it, you know, for us. Like, cause we actually was in Doppler Studios, right? And Faith was working with Usher at the time, because at the time he was doing Usher's.
He was EP and Puff's. Usher's first album.
Yeah, that all I do is he was doing that one, and Faith took him to the side and was like, "Yo, if you don't sign them dudes, man, you're gonna regret it." You know, and that's really what the stamp. So, you know, Faith really stamped that for us.
Dope. Salute to Faith.
Now, even without you guys having released an album in 12 years, and you've been on tour, the Bad Boy tour and everything, did y'all stay in communication with like the other artists on Bad Boy? Are you guys like genuine friends with certain people?
Yeah, it's really a family. Like people always talk about the Bad Boy family like it's just something to say, but it's really true to form. Even though we're all not signed to Bad Boy anymore, we still do shows together. So, you know, this weekend we may be on the show with Faith. We may be next weekend with Carl.
What about Mario Winans?
Yeah,
Mario,
even Mario. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a real family thing. Yeah.
Well,
Mario having tax problems.
Yeah, I have a little tax problem.
Yeah.
For real? Oh.
That's what I say.
How about did you guys learn about finances when you were first coming out? Did anybody say, okay, you got to make sure you have this, you got to have an accountant?
Yeah, we learned the hard way.
We learned hard. That's the thing. That's the thing.
learned the hard way.
Like
Your objective is just to get signed and get the record deal. You're not even thinking about money and none of that kind of stuff. And the sad thing is, you know, there is no manual on how to be a recording artist. They don't. There's nothing that says do this with your money, do this with your balance in your life. None of that. So, with us starting at 17 years old, coming from nowhere, dog.
Hey, bro,
we got those checks. It was like, hey,
or you gonna sign this contract, bro? We gonna sign.
Show
this
money,
contract,
Linux.
Bro. We'll worry about the other stuff later. You feel what I'm saying?
Was there ever a point when you guys were like, okay, we getting got and we got to figure something out? Kind of like it's happened with TLC, with New Edition. Was that the 112 situation as well at some point?
Well, I think around like the second album, like we started to see that.
Hold up.
Like something
asking
wasn't
questions
right.
at that point.
Something ain't right.
Y'all was platinum out the gate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of times.
So
What made you realize that? And then what happened? Was everybody in agreement?
That money was funny, you know.
I'm gonna tell you
just talking to different people in the industry and kind of starting to understand, you know, the type of deal we had signed, you know what I'm saying, and really understanding how, at that point, how it affected us financially. Because in the beginning, like we kind of knew what the deal was, we kind of somewhat knew what we were signing, but once it started to really affect us financially, that's when it was like, oh, okay, wow, this is what this is. And so at that point, we kind of had to start asking even more questions and you know, trying to challenge some things about that particular deal.
Like you said you was about to say something. You had an aha moment.
Nah, I'm just saying, you know, you top of the charts, you're all over the world, you traveling, everybody know you, everybody recognize you, they're singing your songs word for word, but then your living arrangements haven't changed. You're still going back to the hood. You still and you're still in the first place.
living arrangements.
You still in the first place you were when you first got your record deal. So that really opened your eyes. Like, okay, hold on, we the horse, and we the ones that's out here, you know, not having time with our families, you know, on the road 345 days out of 365. Some should be different.
Yeah, you in the hood in your video on BET.
Come on, man.
Literally.
You had
Not cool. Not cool.
You
Right,
had that
right.
hate dog moment, but you like, hold up.
Hold
you know?
Like,
Now,
something ain't right.
was there ever R&B beef between you guys, Jagged Edge or Drew Hill?
Now, let me tell you.
Uh-oh.
The Jagged was actually real, and we started it.
I mean, as real as R&B,
as real as R&B goes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we stuck. It was real.
Don't say that though, because a lot of these R&B artists, they may sing, but they'll whip your ass.
That's why I be trying to tell them, like, bro,
saying.
look, we still from that south side of Atlanta, man. Like, just don't walk up on an R&B dude. Like, you just don't do that. You know what I mean?
So what was
But-
the problem with Jagged Edge? Why did y'all start that?
Well, this is what our plan was.
Okay.
Okay. Our plan was, we knew that because Jagged was from Atlanta, 112 was from Atlanta, there was a parallel, there was a juxtaposition between the two groups.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to go on tour with these dudes so we can just build this whole momentum. So it's like a Ali versus Frazier kind of thing. The only problem is we didn't tell Jagged.
Oh, y'all didn't tell them? What y'all
I mean, it wouldn't have been authentic if we, we came in, hey man, we're gonna start a beef with y'all, bro. It's like in our minds, it wasn't
have
gonna
to
be
really start a
manufacturing
beef.
beef.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like we was
Reality TV before that.
yeah,
Before
so,
we got-
so that was the whole plan.
had
But
no
we're
part
thinking
in
that they're gonna go ahead and play along with it, and you know what I mean,
no part
and
in
we were
that.
gonna have this Ali versus Frazier kind of thing, and then we're gonna make money off of it. But it kind of got a little too personal. You know what I'm saying? And,
Kyle got drunk one night
It-
and started the fight.
nah, we never got the fisticuff. We
No,
never-
never.
you
If
know,
If you
but
gotta fake
I
a
will-
beef with somebody, you gotta let them know.
But look,
Listen. Just
forgot about that part.
For the record, I had no part in that.
I'm saying, no, the
This is
reason why
Deron
I'm
speaking. I
saying,
had
the
no
reason why
part
I'm
in
just
that.
saying this because I'm the one that started. I'm
you started
the
it.
actual one that
take
got
care
on the
of it.
radio and started the whole thing.
So what did you say?
What did you say? Yeah.
I just because basically what was said was we felt like we were the better group. You know what I mean? That's basically what it boiled down to. But I will
As
tell
you
you
should
this.
feel like
with
that.
that.
He said he got personal before, so he got a little past that. But go ahead.
Yeah.
There
No,
was some
but
specific things said that was.
You probably was calling them
deeper
old
than
because y'all was the younger group at the time, right?
we just felt like we were the better singers. That really what it boiled down to. But I will tell you this. We were in the Barbados. It was 112 at Jagged, and this is like after the whole. They was on BET, said what they said, and we said what we said in the whole nine. And Kyle actually called my room, and I'm like, okay, today is on. You know what I'm saying? Today is gonna be the day that we.
I knew it had to be Kyle doing something.
So we went down. So he said, yo, bro, come down to the pool. I need to holler at you. I said, all right, man. Take my jewelry off. Grease up. Because it's gonna be on. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, it's gonna be on, right?
You ain't call nobody else?
Matter of fact, he didn't call nobody else.
No, I ain't call nobody. No, I'm on man. I'm going out. I'm going to holler. He called me. All right. So I go down to the pool. The real mafioso, like it's Kyle, his cousin, and he got like another dude. I said, okay. They by the pool.
That's sing off.
These cats.
Party is
See, I'm
over.
thinking to myself like these cats don't think I can swim, so that's okay. That's probably what it is. So take me to the pool and whatnot. But I went over to them. They ordered me mojitos and whatnot.
Mojitos. This
Kyle
sounds so
looked-
not gangster, by the way. This whole story.
Yeah, so I
You
know.
went down to the pool,
Yeah, so it was
ordered
too cool. It was
mojitos.
too. So I knew once I got a mojito, everything was all right. I was, we could talk this out, whatever.
Extra
So
mint.
Kyle looked at me and said, y'all the one that started it, right? I was like, yeah, bro, you right, man. We did, man. We sorry, man. I apologize for that, bro. And then after that, man, it was cool. We was good.
Greased
after
up for
that.
nothing.
You know
I
what I'm
just want to
saying?
know what was you hoping to gain by starting the beef with Jagged Edge? Like, I
We
don't
wanted
understand.
to tour. Like we wanted, like it's one thing for R&B artists to go and tour. Like what we've done. As a matter of fact, we just came from overseas with Drew Hill and Genuine, and we did this major tour. And that it was awesome over there. But that was the whole gimmick we wanted to do because there was such a distinction between a Jagged Edge fan and a 112 fan. Like it got into a point where either you was a Jagged Edge fan or you was a 112 fan. Right. So we were trying to combine the two and just go on tour with that. The problem with that was in our youth and lack of experience, we didn't tell them that was the plan until like later on, and then they found out, was like, oh, bro, why y'all ain't say nothing? It was like,
This
bro,
is like reality TV.
I just want you to know that the other three are looking at you like I still don't think that's a good idea. Listening to you explain this for years.
I still feel like it'll work, man. And as a matter of fact, we still trying to make it work now. We actually on this album, we actually have a record with Jagged.
Wow. So you still trying to beef with Jagged?
No,
Fight already.
We definitely
man.
want to tour with the guys though, man, because we do understand the fan base wants that, man. Like that's what they want, man. So we was like, yo, let's do a record with these dudes. They actually they got with it, and they actually spearheaded the whole record, man. So it's a really great record on this album that's coming out October 27th, man. And we're excited about it.
Did you guys ever get into fistfights with each other? I'm sure, as brothers on tour.
Yeah, we brothers. We fought.
Yeah.
Who fought the
21
most?
years. No, actually 30 years. We've been together since like middle school.
Yeah.
Who fought the most amongst each other? Is it like a
The
tag
beef
team?
started right here.
Probably.
Tech and tag.
Nah,
It hadn't been a lot.
It ain't been a lot, but
We may say a few words, but then what happens is once we do shows all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the music is what is the common denominator. So no matter how upset you are with each other, no matter how mad you are, once the music gets going and we on stage, it's like everything just
Me and Q got to arguing
just
last
going.
week.
Yeah.
About
it's
what?
like everything just go.
Jagged Edge.
No.
Nah, it wasn't about
It wasn't
Jagged
about
Edge.
that.
Nah, it wasn't about Jagged
Yeah,
Edge.
it wasn't about
What was some of the disagreements you all had as a group back then that y'all are kind of like over now?
I think a lot of it be creative because
Right.
we're all so creative.
Yeah.
And if you really just sat with Duran has his idea of how things should go. I have mine. Mike has his. Slim has his. The issue, not necessarily the issue, but the task is getting us all on the same page so that we can all move in the same direction. But I think the differences come because we're just so passionate about how we personally feel things should go.
Right.
Yeah.
How did y'all
And then
feel
it doesn't
when
help being Diddy's favorite either. I'm sure that doesn't go over well.
How did y'all feel when
He
Slim
was,
went
dude.
solo and had success
They-
solo?
Happy.
Happy.
Yeah.
Happy,
Yeah, I
bro.
was glad.
Because he's still on the tag, you still see
Of 112.
112.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this, it's deeper than music with us, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we've known each other
Since
30
he
years.
30, yeah.
30 years.
Slim
You know
got
what
that somebody lying look.
Oh, no.
I heard yo was
That's
mad he
very
got to spell
parallel
his
to
name in the song.
the interview that we had. You know,
Yeah, talking to
You
Mike
said
Slim.
what?
I heard yo was mad that
him?
he got to spell his name.
No,
in the
I got a
S,
story
the
for that though.
S. Yeah,
yeah,
because
this is
he really
another-
branded himself, and it was kind of like, okay, he
Nah,
about to
that
go.
it all goes back to 112. But I will tell you a story about the S, the L, the I, the M.
S,
we
the L,
we were at Daddy's house, right? Slim did the S, the L, the I, the L, and Puff was walking by when he heard it, and he was like, "Yo, I like that." I said, "Slim, that's gone. That's gone, bro." Remember that record he got? The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y.
It's
He
Diddy.
got it.
So I mean, I built on that. I went
he
from that to
took- I'm sorry, he bit
112. You might Slim to run. So I mean, it wasn't like
You
I
should
was
have
just
did that from the beginning. Who are you? Why are you trying to be Beyonce?
No, and actually, I did it all together. I mean, they just picked up on that was the first single they picked.
Real
you know?
rap though, we understood that
Yeah.
Slim's voice, like all of us sing lead. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean? But we knew that Slim's voice was so distinctive, and immediately when you heard his voice, you knew it was 112.
And it cut through the traffic too because there
Yeah.
was so many male groups out at the time.
Right.
We needed something different that's just gonna make you easily identify that, oh, that's a 112 record.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
let's be real, nobody sounds like Slim.
nobody sounds
Nah,
like
that's
this
real.
dude. You know what I mean? So
What else did Diddy steal from you?
Oh, my
Oh Lord.
let me see.
No, he-
On the show, on the tour, right?
Oh yeah.
12, we got this move right after we got up, which we killed, by the way. We got this one move where we go bam and we hold it, right? And then we wait for the crowd, like Michael Jackson. You know,
Just
like,
embrace it.
just
For the
don't
crowd to
move
embrace
until
the love.
until
Just
the
stay there.
audience come back with
Commit.
it, right? Puff seen that, he was like, I got them boys. So he stood there. He was like, yo, Mace, you got to stand right here. Playboy, you got to stand right there. You got to hold it. You got to hold it, B. You know what I'm saying? And Mace just refused to hold it, man. And they just didn't get the same you know what I'm saying, reaction that 12 always got every night, man. But yeah, that was something that I knew. I was like, dude is watching us, bro. Dude is watching us on this tour.
Now, did the Bad Boy tour like re-spark something in y'all that made y'all feel like? Because obviously y'all said y'all never stopped doing shows, but did it like re-spark something like, yo, we can really go out here and get it again?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it was exciting just touring and being on a Bad Boy tour, but I mean, I don't think that really made a spark because we was already out here getting it. You know what I'm saying? We had been getting it for like a good 5 or 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Before the Bad Boy tour started. But when the tour started, I will say this: like that, to me, that's like one of my favorite tours that we've done, and we've toured with everybody from Whitney Houston, Janet Jackson. You name it,
Nothing
we toured
like
with
it.
them. But the Bad
Did y'all
Boy
come
tour,
to the Bad Boy?
I did.
Nah, you get
In
to see
Brooklyn
it.
at the
Yeah.
Barclays.
Yeah, the show
I
was
was out of
incredible.
town when it
man.
came to New York.
That's like my
Dog.
favorite tour.
That'll never happen again, man.
I
You
was,
know what I'm saying?
3.5 hours of nothing but hits.
Yeah,
Like
it was-
nobody
it
doing
was.
nobody doing album songs. It's just bring all your hits to the table.
how many records did y'all do on tour?
We did
Oh,
6.
man, we
Six?
yeah,
Six?
six,
Did we?
yeah.
Peaches
Oh,
and Cream,
seven.
Cupid, Only
Anywhere.
You,
It's over
Anywhere.
now.
Anywhere,
Now.
yes. Yep.
It's over
It's
now.
over
Dance
now.
with me.
Yep.
Even the
And Dance With Me,
collabos,
yeah.
I'll Be Missing You, Sky's the Limit.
Yeah.
Now,
How
I
was
heard
working
that
with
back in.
Biggie?
Oh.
Okay, I was gonna say, how was working with Biggie?
Man, Big
Wow.
was, man,
Oh,
Big
man.
was awesome.
Wow.
Bro.
Tell us
Yeah.
about that collaboration.
Well, got another story for you, bro. Like we came into Daddy's house one night, and you know they knew 12 didn't smoke. Like we were considered the gentlemen of R&B or whatever, and it wasn't because you know we were Southern. You know we are Southern, so we opened doors, and you know, and it was kind of a culture shock because you know we up top, you know, it's like we
Southern
opened the door
man.
for.
He was like, "What's up, man?" Yeah, I mean, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, we open doors for women. They
Southern
like, yo,
gentleman.
move.
Just
Like,
Southern
what are you
gentleman,
doing? Like,
yeah.
what you know, we're like, we're just opening doors. We're just trying to be gentlemen or whatever. So they knew that we didn't cuss really. We didn't drink. We didn't do any drugs or anything like that or whatever. But, you know, we were just those quote unquote good guys or whatever. So they tried to keep all the quote unquote bad stuff away from, you know, 12. And one day we had a session and we went into pub, like, yo, Big's in the other room, so let's go holler at him. He's like, yo, Big, they in there blazing, B. You know what I mean? So we was like, nah, we gonna go in there anyway. Went in there, couldn't see anybody. You know, it was great. It was great. But, you know, and Big is sitting there, and this is a testament to how great this dude was too. So he's not, you know, he spoke to everybody or whatever, but he was just sitting there. Like Caesar's over here, Jigga was over on the, you know, on the side or whatever, man.
Jay-Z was there,
yeah, this is like 94?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go in, and he said, yo, 12, what up? And then so it's not saying anything for hours. 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. rolls around, dude gets up, it's like, I'm ready. They were like, you ready for what? And he just went in and did, I got a story to tell. And then, because if you remember in there, he got my 112 CD blast. It's because he saw us in there. You know, we spoke to him. You know what I mean? And we was in there just kicking it with him, whatever. So he's watching this whole narrative go down in front of him. And, you know, everybody's just talking all these stories. But he's just taking this whole experience in, making it into a story, went in there, wrote it. And that's the kind of relationship that he had with us, man. Dude was our biggest supporter on Bad Boy. Like,
what I love the most about Big is, you know, being like the little brothers on the label. He always made sure we had whatever we needed. Like, you know, you hear the stories about the starving artists when you know, you living off of your per diem. You don't really have a whole lot of money. We would come into the studio and he would always be like, yo, did y'all eat today? Yo, make sure he gave us Brooklyn Mint gear to wear. Whatever y'all need, man. Like, I remember sometimes, man, he just break out $100 and just give every last one of us, making sure. And there would be some times where, you know, you hear the stories of Puff coming in the studio, going on his rants. Big would be like, yo, man, leave the boys alone, man. You signed them, right? Because they dope. So let them be dope. So, number love, man. Just even watching him when he was in the wheelchair. He had a show in, what was
Long
it?
Island.
In Long Island. And as the new guys on the label, watching him rock the show in a wheelchair, saying no matter what happens, the show still go on. That just was a great example for us to see. Not even starting our career yet, that no matter what happens, you know, give the fans what they come to see. Give the fans the experience that they paid for.
How was that Sky's the Limit session?
I was gonna say that because that's my favorite, one of my favorite Big records. How was recording that one?
Man, you know what?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Now we weren't in the studio with him at the time, but he kind of like explained it before, and then Puff basically said, "Hey, yo, this is the record that Big really wants y'all to be on right here." You know what I'm saying? And this is how we're gonna come. So like we had, it's almost like we did something with him before,
right?
Or was the on the Life After Death or whatever, and then it was like when we heard that one right there, it was like, oh, this is crazy.
That was on Life After Death.
Yeah, but it was another record that we also did. We did Missing You with them too. So it was kind of wild that, you know, after we had done that record, he wanted to do another record with us, and it was like, you know, after Puff explaining like the mainstream feel of this whole situation, it was like, yeah, this makes sense, and it is just let you know just how much respect Big had for 112.
Room 112, where the players dwell. He gave y'all a lot of crowd promotion.
Dude, I was just watching the documentary that just came out on, I forget the network, but
was it A&E?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
and when it went off, I said to myself like, wow, the fact that 112, first of all, 4 guys from the inner city of Atlanta. So millions of records, Grammys, and all that kind of stuff. But we are forever tied to arguably one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Absolutely.
I got
the fact that he,
Big.
right? The fact that he mentioned us in every record. He produced "Loving You Tonight." He always shouting 112 out. My 112 CD blast, Room 112 was shaking. The fact that he introduced us to the world and only you. Sky's the limit. You can't mention a Big story without playing Sky's the Limit.
Absolutely.
That always ties 112 to that, man. Like,
bro, the last thing he said to us, man, before he died was like we was on stage with him. Y'all remember that? We was on stage and
Soul Train Awards.
He turned around, he was like, "Yo, let's get the hell up out of here." You know what I mean? Because in that same night, man, that, you know, but he knew, like, bro, we got to get up out of here, man. Like,
that was that weekend.
That was the week. That was the night that it went down.
Yeah.
Like it went down. The last thing he said was like, "Yo, let's get the hell up out of here," because he was supposed to be in London. But he's like, nah, I'm gonna stay here and rock out in Cali, right? And we were like, bro.
But he felt like tension or something, or
because they was booing.
I think so.
They was booing. Like if you go back and look at the award shows, like you had 112. I think it was Chris Webber.
Brian McKnight.
Brian McKnight. I'm sorry, Brian McKnight. and Big, and
presenting an award. Yeah.
Presenting an award.
That was a rough time.
Yeah, he turned around and was like, "Yo, we got to get the hell up out of here, bro."
I didn't know you did production, D. Hey.
Yeah. Oh, production. You know I did. I did. Okay, Cupid. Anywhere. It's over now. Dance with me. Keisha Cole. I should have cheated.
Oh shit! They was calling you for loans the past 12 years.
Stop it. And Loving You Tonight
no.
with B.I.G. and R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Did you coach R. Kelly in, or you just did the beat and they?
Well, I really just did the beat, and it was so funny because I had kind of just started really doing beats, and one of the engineers at the studio was like, "Yo, man, whenever you do a beat, just leave it, put it on this DAT right here, and then we'll just have it." So I got a call. I think we was in Trinidad.
Trinidad. And
he was like, "Yo, B, you want to use your one of your tracks on your thing?"
That,
and I was like, "Whoa, for real?" And so a month later, they was like, "It's with R. Kelly." I was like, "Whoa!"
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa!"
How dope is that?
Did you get paid for that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I still get checks from that.
Now I heard y'all used to stand outside girls' rooms and sing after shows and everything, and that's how you.
Nah,
guys...
that's corny.
Nah,
We didn't do
that's
that.
not-
Oh, y'all had to do that. That don't make no sense. Why y'all have to do that?
No, we
now,
did.
come on.
Now, before we got our deal, we used to
I
go
was
sing
gonna
in malls and stuff. We used to go to like Lenox Mall and stuff like that and
We
go
were the
sing.
last
Underground Atlanta.
Yeah, we were the last
the
one.
street corner singer.
Yeah,
we were
see,
the
these
street
kids
corner
nowadays
singers.
don't understand. Like we didn't know anybody. Like yes, you had So Def and you had LaFace and all those, but we didn't know how to get into those doors, bro. Like what we gonna break in? I mean, like that was it was unheard of. So what we would do, we would go to like Underground Atlanta, or we would go to Lenox Mall, or we would just be singing on the corner and just hope somebody knew somebody that could get us
In the talent shows and the showcases.
Yeah.
I always wondered what you guys started like the whole making the band saga when Diddy was doing that and he signed like Day 26 and then Diddy came because y'all got on the Bad Boy the hard way.
Right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Right,
what y'all
yeah.
think of that?
Honestly, bro, we would have if he had told us to
That's
go
the
get a
only-
cheesecake, bro. We would have went and got that cheesecake.
How many, 2 or 3
We
times?
would have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We would
no
have
doubt.
because we would have done, what I'm saying, like
We
almost
going back to
anything.
Atlanta?
Yeah, because that was his thing. He always threatened us.
Y'all want to go back to Atlanta?
Y'all want to go back to Atlanta?
We wasn't going back to Atlanta.
Be late 5 minutes. Yo, y'all going back to Atlanta?
Y'all want to go back to Atlanta?
Yo, Hawk, yo, get their tickets because
y'all-
they ready to go back to Atlanta.
We was not going back to Atlanta.
Yo, y'all remember we did
nothing.
the session with Dave Hollister? We did this session with Dave Hollister.
Our
from
very
Black
first session.
And
Yeah.
it was just horrible, man.
it was
just
bad.
the worst
It
thing.
was
And
bad.
That dude came in there,
He was
pressed the
like-
button, man, listen to it.
He was like, yo,
Yo,
what is
what is
this?
Yo, y'all ready to go back to Atlanta?
Play
what?
with
That-
that. These cats want to go back to
Yo,
Atlanta? I'm like, oh my god.
Yo, Hawk.
So look, we go in the back, we get together. Hey man, come on, man, we
y'all
can't
better
go back to
sing y'all
Atlanta.
asses off, bro.
We got to do this.
What made it so bad, the session?
Well, for 112, we were really like live singers. We was acapella singers. We was winning all the talent shows in Atlanta. But as far as it came to recording, like I think we had certain people that we could gel with in the studio recording wise, like Tim and Bob, Mario Winans, and we just didn't gel with him that night. You know what I'm saying?
And it was our first
It was our
session
very
in
first session.
in New York.
Yeah.
We never been nowhere, so now we're living in New York now. The pressure of now we represent ourselves, and then everybody back home.
Right.
It was just awkward.
And those four
spent all the
walls,
per
man,
diem.
those four walls are intimidating, man, to
Nervous.
somebody that you're not really confident and comfortable in who you are as an artist. You get in them four walls of that booth,
Yeah,
Doc.
we were still developing.
Yeah, and then we like 18 years old too. Like I don't know, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Like what a man does at that point. Yeah, you know what I
That's what I'm
mean?
saying. When did artist development kick in for y'all? Like when did it finally just work?
When it finally kicked in, I guess when Only You first happened. When it first came out, that's when we finally realized, like, bro, we can do this.
But even before that, just to record, like when did Diddy be like, okay,
Okay. Well, I tell you what, man. It's like what happened was when we realized that Puff had this thing that he just had to come in and make people believe like he was instrumental in every aspect of what it was that we was doing. You know what I'm saying? So we would be producing like for 18 hours on this one record, right? And he did it twice to us. And then by the third time we had figured it out. So this first time Diddy's hearing this too. But by the way, so we did a record. He'll come in like after a party or whatever, listen to it. No, I don't like that, change that. And then we be just defeated, right? Next time, do it again. We change a little something. I don't like that. Yo, y'all ready to go home. But we listened to it. He listened to it again. Was like, yo, that's hot. We didn't change anything at that point, man. So we were just like, you have to catch that dude at a certain point, man. And so that's when we started realizing that once we started owning who it was, we were like, no, Playboy, this is who we are, okay? So you just gonna have to figure out how to maneuver 112's the 112 sound because we're not gonna be that. We're gonna be a combination of your idea and our idea, and we can come together. But as far as like you wanting us to be that, no, we're not gonna be that.
And we hit
So
a groove too. Somewhere along that first album process, we got into our rhythm. with Duran producing and all of us as songwriters and being so creative, we just found and we hit a groove. So when he would come in trying to say, well, do this, we were like, Puff, no.
Chill out, bro.
This is what it's gonna sound like. This is what it is. Embrace it. Open yourself up to it. Because again, as Mike said earlier, it was an even exchange. We didn't really know anything about hip hop, but that was a beauty that he introduced us to that. But this R&B, singing and crooning and all that, that's what we knew. So give us space to do that. Now when you bring in the hip hop record and the sample and all that kind of stuff, we open to all of that. But this sitting behind the keyboard, harmonies and the melodies and all that, that's what we do.
You think artists have it easier or harder today?
Easier.
Well, yeah.
You think they're spoiled?
Yeah,
Way easier.
Yeah, because you have to think about it. When we first came out, you had to go to an actual studio, and in order to go to that studio, which was in a certain part of Atlanta, you had to have thousands of dollars per hour. And for somebody like us, we from Cleveland Avenue, and I mean, you can't flip too many burgers to get in the side of that studio. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that now you have apps, and you can buy stuff at Best Buy and sound the same way. You can record an album on the road, you know what I'm saying, in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
So that your voice, they got things where your voice will sound, the pitch will be right now.
Right.
Before you had to do it 20 times. Now.
Oh yeah, that's what we used to do.
Bro,
you
we still got our reels, man. Like we tell kids nowadays, like we used to record on these reels, these giant tapes,
machine,
and they're like, what? ADATs, ADATs and all this.
Hook could take a whole day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what we would.
But the music industry is decidedly different now. Like y'all used to go in gold and platinum. If that doesn't happen this time around, can y'all be content with that? Like,
we were still, because success in our minds is not considered based on numbers. You know what I mean? It's on the amount of respect that we garner from our fan base, and then from those people that don't know who 112 is, and just getting that, I think that will be a success, man. And with this new album that we did, like one of the main things that we wanted to focus on with this album was to make sure that we took care of our core, make sure we took care of those people that were still rocking out with us for the 21 years. So if they're happy, we're success. It's a success.
But I'm gonna keep it 1,000 though. Okay. I mean, we're swinging for 100. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you can't tell me that all of the 25 million records we sold, all of our fans just died. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
People don't eat as good as they used to, man.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Diets are bad. No. People are dying, getting heart attacks early. They might not be around. I'm serious.
But I'm gonna tell you like this. Nah, man. But at the end of the day, people have been, screaming for real R&B. Like, everybody's saying, oh, man, we want the music to feel like this, and they've been complaining. Well, October 27th, this is your chance.
Yeah.
Because, the one thing with 112 is we could have recorded we're trendsetters. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could have recorded a record any kind of way. This music that's out right now is very easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I showed off the solo project. It was easy. You know what I'm saying? But on this album right here, man, we made it a point to make the album as R&B as possible. We did it on purpose so that, if you're hungry for real R&B, or just like straight, strong R&B music, you can hit play, you can relate to the music. We're not taking certain things, you know what I'm saying, putting materialistic over what you can really relate to, which is love. Everybody in the world can relate to love. You know what I'm saying?
The good thing about y'all, though, is y'all got such timeless material. Y'all can make $20,000 for the rest of your life off 6 songs.
Yeah, that's true. We know.
Let's go.
But we're not content. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, to be the greatest, to call yourself the greatest of that era, you know what I'm saying? You have to pass what you've done before. You know what I'm saying? It's like in this day and age, it's about what you've done lately.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing right now. So it's just funny that to be who we are seems now fresh because the music has changed so much. When you remind people what R&B used to feel like, you now feel like you're doing something new. So you know what? Why not?
Plus, I think it's a new respect for the classic groups nowadays. Just classic artists, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think this generation before was disrespectful, but now they got a new respect for what came before them.
And it shows itself that way because every weekend we're somewhere touring. Right. And I mean the bill looks like a 112, Blackstreet, Drew Hill, Jagged Edge, SWV, BBD, Carl Thomas.
I'm there for that shit.
It's selling out arenas.
And
you know what I'm saying?
It's selling out in arenas. So it tells you that there's people want to hear it.
Something lacking.
Yeah.
There's something lacking.
We look forward to hearing this new album. What's
October
the date?
27th.
October
October
27th.
27th.
Thank you very
Q
much.
Mike Slim Duran.
112.
You about to get that 112 mix popping for the culture real quick this
For the
morning?
culture.
Huh,
Come on,
MC?
baby.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.